Well, welcome, everyone. Meg's staring at me because I think she wants me to start. Okay, so hi, everybody. Welcome to... No?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Sweet Jesus.
This is Meg and I after traveling for a few days of no sleep and not good food and not feeling well. So this is now, you get us, jet lag.
Jet lag. It was an hour time difference. It shouldn't even be that much jet lag. No, yeah, we just got off a whirlwind 3-day trip to buy new dresses. So what I want to talk about today is the difference between travel as a business and travel for fun, which is sort of separate and sort of the same for us. Agreed. Because we do love what we do, so it's always fun, and we laughed a lot on this most recent trip, which was technically business.
Welcome to the Chronicles of Caffeine and Ambition, hosted by the Cinder Sisters. I'm Stacy.
And I'm Megan. And what we are here to do on our podcast is tell you about business, life, families, essentially everything that we do, we want to share with you because we have a lot of self-confidence. We've learned a lot of self-confidence over the years.
We sure have.
And we want to share that with you. We want to show you how.
Let's do this.
At a very starting point. Oh, I can't ask that because it was a family vacation, which was more fun, Stacey.
Yeah, I know. I'm not going to compare. I can't compare.
Okay, I'm going to change my question. That wasn't a real question anyways. I don't expect you to answer that. What's the biggest difference for you?
Like, I guess when it's a family trip, you're still watching your kids on a family trip, but I felt like, no, never mind. It's still the same. We still watch the
big family.
It's our team that came with us, and we're still like counting heads. Everybody here? Okay, we got everybody. Good, let's go. Okay. Still do it. I don't know. What's the difference, eh? Doing different things. Like, we probably wouldn't have gone to that same restaurant.
No, we probably wouldn't have gone to either of those restaurants with that many kids and family. Like, in comparison to the France trip where it was, I don't even know how many of us, 8, 10 of us. It was a lot of us. Yeah. That's way too much to go to to the same type of restaurants that we went to that were not necessarily higher class restaurants, a little bit more so than normal.
Just not a restaurant I'm going to bring kids into.
Not at all. Not at all.
So that kind of stuff, sightseeing different things, we can actually stop and not... if I want to look at a building and a piece of architecture, I can. And the kids aren't like, why are we looking at another building? Mom's touching buildings again. The girls probably think it in their head, but they don't say it.
I don't know. I think they agreed. Like, I don't even think it was you that said something about the architecture of the buildings in Chicago. Like, on the way to the airport in the Uber, somebody said, great architecture. Maybe it was me. I'm pretty tired.
I think it's a bit more of a different go. At least with kids, when you're traveling, there is time. The kids still go to bed at kind of a decent time, and you go during the day, but then you're home and you have supper and you still have a routine. Whereas traveling for business, you never switch off from business ever.
That's true. It was 100% of the time talking about business. Okay, fine. I'll give it like 99.99% of the time talking about business because we're all friends here anyway. So we talked about home life and we talked a little bit about it. But because we were there for a specific purpose, to find dresses, to find new designers, to find that exact specific thing we went to look for, you're right. We never
turned off.
And we did in France, which is surprising. Well, it's the first time we've taken a family trip since 10 years. It was 10 years.
It was 10 years. Yeah, you're right. So that was the first family trip. Yeah, you're right. And we actually somewhat turned off on the trip. Like, I think that was the first time we've ever gone away that long.
Definitely.
Because it was 2 weeks, and we've never done 2 weeks before. Yeah. Actually not answering emails or phone calls or any problems. Yeah, that was a first. Hard to gauge that if you're saying the difference between one to the other. I think I'm probably just as tired as I was after 10 days of traveling France as I was 3 days of buying and doing business stuff in Chicago. I feel that tired still.
I think that's fair. It's mentally taxing. Mm-hmm. All the comparisons, all of the, is this right? It's our favorite part of the job in one way and our least favorite in another way because it's hard to make those decisions. Yeah. Are we making the right decision? It's a lot of second guessing. Do we have that dress already? Do we need this? Do we need a new line? Yeah, there's a lot of questions and a lot of second guessing ourselves about what we're choosing. So it's mentally taxing in that way. But then being with your family, being mostly with my family and a couple of your family, is that was taxing in a completely different way. Manage the children. One runs away, None of the people ran away on this trip, I'll tell you that.
The youngest did.
No, on this trip.
Oh, this trip. Sorry.
Who's the youngest? Amanda? Amanda ran away.
Amanda just... We had to watch one of the girls all the time when we go places. Actually, now there's 2 of them we have to watch. One could probably run away. I'd be a little worried. But she could fend for herself.
One would willingly run away and completely take care of herself. She's the only one who went off on her own, and we were like, well, she'd probably take care of somebody before they took care of her. So
100%. That one I'm not worried about.
I don't like that you're going on somewhere on your own, but I can't disagree with this. I think you'll hurt me. But it was a constant herd all the children together in the other place. For me, very, very different in that way. Because you're right. I was usually checking to make sure our group was the right size. 5 of us. We took up a lot of space at the bridal market that we were at.
We did.
But it was decently easy to tell that all of us were there. We were a group. We stayed together. But it was sort of more of a visual of our group is the right size. 5 is easy to count. For me, it was much harder because they're my kids and they're little, and it was a constant. Where's that one? Where's this one? And if they're with somebody else, I hope that person still has them. What if they ran away? And then it was the first week in France, the first of the 2 weeks, and I didn't have a backpack for the youngest. We had a stroller because for some reason in my mind, I was like, a stroller will be easier. Day 1, flat out refused to go in the stroller. He dragged his feet. He tipped it over. Like, he was horrific. Never have I had that much trouble with him or any of the others. But day 1, he was like, no, I am not going in. How dare you?
How dare you think I can't walk this whole thing? But you could.
These thousands of steps and these 10 million... Yeah.
And if you've ever been to France, there isn't much in the way of like barriers to things. And if there is, it's like maybe a couple posts or maybe like a rope. And like it's just one of those things where you should just know better and don't go over the cliff. End of story. Whereas in Canada, we have like chainmail or like full guarded, and it's like completely blocked off, and signs being like, careful, dangerous, 50,000-foot cliff here. Like, no, in France, it's like 2 bars and the cliff. And so this guy ran for that cliff and was going to go through the bars. I almost had a heart attack. Yeah, but he's fearless.
It would be interesting to be a fly on the wall in the France trip in the sense of between Dax causing everyone a heart attack every once in a while because he just has no fear, and my driving causing Chris a heart attack. It would be really funny. And then me just having a panic attack constantly because I'm trying to keep track of all of them. Even though they're not even in the same car, worrying constantly about where they are. It would be interesting.
To have watched the chaos.
Yeah.
Go down. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun. I mean, I watched most of it because I didn't drive. I think I drove once. That was good. No, I drove a couple times. I drove once. The second time. I drove the second time. That was good. It was good after that. Let you guys drive.
After the weird intersection where you couldn't tell if anybody was stopping.
No one was stopping. Like, you know how we all just do, like, I kind of stop. I looked a little bit, but like you can't look because the houses are so close to the street. It's a one-way. There's a 6-way intersection, and they don't have a stop. There's no stop sign. No arrête or anything. No stoppe. It's just like a bunch of grid things on the ground. And the guy ahead of you doesn't really stop. Like, he kind of slowed down a little bit and then just kept going. And you're like, oh, we're just looking. I don't know. But like, it's supposed to be a stop sign.
I think it's the lines on the ground.
Yes.
Yeah. So there was no actual stop sign.
No.
It was just that there was a line on the ground. So you're supposed to know that means that you stop and the other one has the right of way. But don't stop too much because the people behind you would get mad.
Honk, exactly.
Yeah.
Because, you're stopping. Why are you stopping? Just look and go, Yes. And it's not as if we were going fast or anything. It was fast enough, but we weren't going in the middle of a little old, like, medieval city. But that was a heck of a drive-in. For reference, we drove from the top of France. So we flew into Paris, and then we stayed in Le Mans, and then we went further north to go see Mont Saint-Michel. So we drove from the top of France to the very bottom of France, majority on the, like, west side-ish.
If you want to look it up, our most northern point that we saw was Mont Saint-Michel, which is absolutely phenomenal. You absolutely have to see it, no matter what the season. And then our southernmost thing that we saw was Carcassonne Castle. It was 2 weeks of full driving all day, every day to see as much as we possibly could. And I would not change that trip, but having done it, like an incredible trip, saw so much, and me being the one who planned the majority of it, which in hindsight, I wouldn't change what I did, but I wouldn't do it again.
If you know Meg, she has control issues. So.
I think this comes up in like 50% of the podcast. So if you're following along to this point, you would know by now.
Meg has controls, which is totally cool. I'm on vacation. We're just traveling, and I'm totally in. You just stick me in a car, let me see the things. I'm in. Now, mind you, seeing the things in a car with Meg, though, is like, you ever watch those rally races? And that the ones where they have to wear the helmets and the guy beside them's like reading them off some sort of gibberish of like numbers and stuff. That's driving with Meg. And it makes it 20 times worse because you're in France and you can drive like a maniac because everybody else does. That was all kind of crazy. Now, my husband is not as used to the driving. He likes to drive. So he drives majority of the times, except for this trip he didn't because he wasn't on the insurance on the car. So he was not in control. And he had to sit in the front seat because if you've been to Europe, and the cars are small. So there was no way anybody else was fitting in the back seat with 2 other children.
2 children and 1 adult we did not. It didn't.
We didn't fit at all. We didn't fit at all. I had to sit sideways the majority of the time between 2 kids who were generally covered in chocolate or food of some form. Yeah.
Because that's all you could do. Like, we planned, 4 hours a day of driving at least? Yeah, plus the stops at places to visit. Yeah, just shove food in them constantly. Yeah. It was a lot. But again, I wouldn't change what we did on that trip. I wouldn't do it again. And honestly, I don't even think that while we were on the trip, as mentally messy as it was for me, halfway through, like, there was never a time where I was like, you know what, scrap it. Let's just stop here or go back or end. Like, there was no point where I was like, that's enough. We stay in one place and scrap everything that I planned or everywhere else that we stayed.
Because every time we saw the thing, like every time we made it to the next place and we're like, oh my God. I mean, the whole idea was we were trying to make it home. And I say that in quotation marks part of our lineage comes from the center of France in what's called Limoges. So we were making it there. And when we got there, it was so cool to actually be there. Could I have stayed there a little longer? Definitely. I could have toured around there. It's really pretty if you've ever been. I think it's called the Parc National de something or other, Périgord.
Cool. I'll believe you.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember. I didn't look at the map the same way that you did. I looked at towns and distances. And you looked
for houses.
With the fair.
And that's how I know where things are. Because I've looked for many, many castles and been like, can we drive by this castle? It's for sale.
And the crazy thing, like, you're right. That was the entire reason for the entire reason for the trip was one of yours being in a, worldwide championship thing, right?
Yeah.
His
he
kayaking.
Was doing national championship for whitewater kayaking. And so
is it national or international at that point?
It must be international.
It's got to be international. Yeah.
So yes, that was the whole thing that started off this crazy trip, was that Chris was going. So my husband was going on this trip. And then we tagged along, and then we made it our trip.
You tagged along, and then you were like, well, we're not going without Meg, who, Steve. And then I'm like, why doesn't my entire family come? So it grew and it grew and it grew. And I don't think it was what Chris planned for it to be, but I think he enjoyed it.
He did enjoy it. There's a few places we missed, and he needs to go back and see, which is totally fine.
Well, I mean, there's a whole section. Like, we saw the top to bottom, but we didn't see the west, northeast, the east.
We never saw the east.
The southeast.
The southeast, but also the sort of the north.
Oh, on the German, on Strasbourg, the German end of it. Yes,
correct.
You're
we
right.
Didn't see any of that, but also I think he wanted to go see Normandy. Which would have been great to see as well.
So again, top to bottom.
Top to bottom again. We're going a bit like zigzagging this time.
Zigzag.
Because you can't go down through the mountains, I think, in some parts. I don't know if there's a whole side.
You'd have to go around them.
The mountains. Yes. So you have to come back to Paris to go around.
You're right. You're right. Normandy, Paris, Strasbourg, Paris, Lyon. Yeah.
Yes, we need to make sure to make it to Lyon this time.
I want to see the flamingos.
Yeah.
And the wild horses.
Actually,
it's funny too, though, because my kids were 8, 5, and 2-ish, thereabouts. So the middle one, who's 6 now, she has been talking about it frequently lately, which is also funny because we're at a 1-year anniversary yesterday. I flew home yesterday, 1 year ago, and she's talked about it several times in the past couple weeks. I don't think I've talked about it. I don't know where it came, unless I have been.
Right.
And I don't realize, because it's 1 year, but she's been talking about it. So she remembers it, even though she was 5.
Okay.
She sees a picture of the Eiffel Tower and gets super excited. She talks about her trip to France. She wants to go back to France. I find that mind-blowing, because when I posted videos about being there and about being on the plane with small children, and everybody had a fit because I was on the plane with small children, like, you're not allowed to take them on a plane. But so she was 5. And she remembers being there. She might not remember specifics, and she might not remember for her whole life, but she knows that traveling is a thing that you can do. She knows she had a great time. She wants to do it again, which to me is really the only reason to have done it at her age.
I agree.
to show the possibilities. I just find it so cool. So anyways, I was talking to her when she brought it up, and she's like, oh, I miss France. I want to go back to France. And then I was like, you know what I want to go see? I want to go see the flamingos and the wild horses. So road trip. How long have we been off the plane? When did we?
Oh my gosh, we landed.
Not yesterday. The day before yesterday.
Okay. We landed 2 days and we're like, let's go somewhere again. We can't even function. Not like really.
Crashing halt back into reality where my youngest is super sick, trying to manage all the business stuff that we haven't been doing because we were doing one thing for several days, losing my mind because I overload myself. And I'm like, let's go again.
Yeah.
I feel like we have a little bit of an addiction to traveling.
Definitely. I could just be a traveler. Like I would need every so often to show back up at home and be like, hey, I just need some downtime and no more peopling. I'm good for a bit. And then you give me a week and I'll be like, okay, let's go.
But it'd be like traveling is our job at that point, because we'd be traveling and then we get tired and then we go home for a vacation.
Oh, that would be cool. I'm in. I'm totally in. If anybody wants to sponsor us to be travelers.
We have seen a lot of Airbnbs. We've seen a lot of houses. We've stayed in a lot of places. Yes. We are pretty good with multiple languages.
Not bad. I don't even know if we got into that conversation before. Like, I don't speak Spanish. My French is mediocre. Meg's French is great. Her Spanish is not bad. Good enough that at one point she was able to read taxi driver's messages to his girlfriend. Okay, so I'm gonna
start at the beginning, because this is a completely different trip too, though. Because we just got back from Chicago for a business trip. We did 1 year ago. Yesterday was the end of our France trip as a family for 2 weeks. Yes. So this was a big trip that you're talking about too, because it was the same thing as Chicago. It was a buying market for wedding dresses.
Yes. But where was it?
In Barcelona. Because why not? Because we could. But you know what? Also, we took a baby with us. Because why not?
Why do anything easy?
Why do anything easy? She was, 6 months? 8 months.
8 months, I think.
She wasn't walking yet.
Which actually made it a little bit easier, because then at that point we just backpacked her or like strolled her. And it was a lot easier just to strap her on. And then she didn't fuss as much. But yeah, she saw a lot of stuff.
She saw a lot. She saw a lot of Spain.
Holy smokes.
Spain and France. Yes. That's a very well-traveled baby.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Yes, but so great stories out of that trip. You are right. But okay, so we have this baby. We're making it through Spain.
I think we were on our way home at that point. Like, I'm pretty sure we were in rough shape at that point, on our way home, and we're tired.
This was the Uber back to the airport. I'm pretty positive.
To the airport. Yes. So we had left our hotel, which was like downtown Barcelona. Got this Uber or taxi. I don't remember. We got this taxi, and it's actually it was very nice. It was all leather seats. It was beautiful.
Oh, it was pristine. Like, he kept his
very nice,
pristine.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Say hello, and yes, airport. Yeah. Okay, cool. So Azzy, Meg's daughter, is sitting in the middle, and she's fussing a little bit. So I've got something in my purse. It's got to be something. So pull out, of all things, a sugar packet. Yeah. That makes sense. Let's pull out a sugar packet for this 8-month-old. Yeah. It's okay. Keeps her busy. So she's happy. She's shaking it. And it makes noise. She's happy. And I'm like, that's awesome. I'm too tired to care right now. You know that. Like, every parent has had that moment where you're like, I just don't care right now. So she's shaking that sugar packet. And Meg is looking at the man, or the taxi driver, and he's agitated, I would say. And not just a little. Like, he's driving, like, again, if you've been driving in Barcelona downtown in a taxi, you'll know the chaos. Like, they don't stop. There's lots of honking. There's lots of swerving. There's so many roundabouts. I'm pretty sure the entire thing is just one big, huge roundabout.
And I wouldn't say that I was paying attention to him in the sense that I was concerned, because everybody was driving like that. And he wasn't. He wasn't being like overly erratic or crazy or anything. He was fitting in with everybody else, trying to get around this 10-car roundabout the same way as everybody else.
The bikes around you, and like the people and everything. Like, everyone was driving that way. Just chaos.
It was chaos, and it may have been rush hour. Who knows? There were a lot of cars there. Yeah. But I mean, I started purposefully paying attention to what he was doing, because then he was texting in the middle of all this. And I was like, that's an interesting choice. So start texting while we're in this mess of driving. And I'm sure you're used to it, but so then I started paying attention. And yes, I do have a small problem that if your phone is visible, I speed read.
Yes.
I can read in 0.02 seconds.
Yes, we could see it, but also you're driving us. And there's a lot of things, like you're agitated at something going on in your phone. You're not agitated at the road.
No, that's just normal for him. That chaos of driving is normal for him. He was agitated at what was happening on his phone.
So Meg's reading this as I'm watching Azzy with her sugar pack, and I'm looking outside, and I look back at Meg's face. And if you could see my face, hers was shock, awe, and then almost an evil smile of like, oh! And I was like, what is going on? She's like, I think that his girlfriend is breaking up with him over the phone.
His girlfriend was breaking up with him over text, but then it got better because I'm reading, and obviously now I'm paying attention, and there are lots of emojis going on and like capitals, and he's getting real angry. So I'm paying attention, and I'm like, oh my god, this is going down as we're driving. And he's texting and he's getting angry, and then his response to her, whatever she said something like, I can't do this anymore, or whatever, I'm not interested, I don't remember what her wording was. And then his response was, is it because I'm a taxi driver? And I was like, oh, what? I wish I had been able to record that scene, because yes, you're right, that was one of the best.
Her facial expressions were awesome. So, and that's not all. That's not where it stops.
So back to Azzy and the sugar packet.
As this is all going down, what happens but psh, the sugar packet gets torn open, flies into the air everywhere. There is sugar everywhere. So thank goodness this guy has no idea what's going on in the back seat. Thank goodness. So we're trying to like nicely brush everything onto the floor, onto like our clothes. So like we can, when we step out, at least we can like brush it off. But we're trying to get it off his beautiful clean leather seats.
I do love traveling, and I love the amount that we laugh. And there are definite situations where people would get upset about things, and it's just funny. It's fun to me, these crazy stories, this hilarity, because how often does this maybe this happens to some people at home and their life must be hilarious, but I don't get into situations like that in Ottawa.
I probably do. I think we do it every day. I don't know. I mean, we're not driving in Ubers in the city, man. We're driving ourselves downtown.
Maybe we should. Wait, are you saying that next time Chris drives us somewhere, I should take a sugar packet in the back?
He wouldn't notice past the mess that we already make in his truck. I don't know.
No, you're right. I've probably like eaten a sprinkle donut and got sprinkles everywhere.
I was like the bane of Chris's existence, this sprinkled donuts on his truck.
I do remember him telling that story, and I always assumed that he cared a lot about what was eaten. I think he gave up because yeah.
He did. He gave up after.
Poor guy.
I love you, babe.
So it is a hard comparison then, because work trip, family trip, we laugh no matter what. We have fun no matter what. Slam in as much as possible. It is tiring. I will say that. No matter what, they are all tiring.
Yes. Totally.
They're not really vacations, because we're trying to see as much as humanly possible in the time that is given to us while we're somewhere else. Even like Barcelona was a work trip, and we saw the markets and we saw the dresses, took in a lot of different things and a lot of designers that we don't have. It was just fun.
Yes.
But we also tried to see the city, and we walked a lot to see the city, and we went up to see the gondola and a castle at the top of the hill.
Labyrinth.
Oh, Labyrinth Horta.
Yeah.
Yep.
We went to see that.
Also beautiful. Recommend that if you're in Barcelona.
Yeah. Just don't get fooled by the old lady that sits at the bottom of the stairs.
Like it's her job.
Like I wouldn't be surprised. She probably sits there every day. She's excited to wait for these people who don't speak Spanish and look at. That's another story. We'll tell another day.
I really want to know if that was actually her plan.
She probably just loves it.
Stacey likes to say that I know Spanish well enough. I will give myself credit that I can read it decently, because it's super similar to me. It's super similar to French.
Yes.
But I don't speak it well. My understanding is definitely rudimentary, but I can definitely say "sí."
Yeah.
Like I understand what you're saying.
And she did, after she got directions from this old lady looking for the labyrinth that we were going to, and she kept saying "sí." And so the woman, I assume, thought what Meg thought.
The woman thought that I understood her.
Yeah.
So she just kept going.
Yep.
See.
And I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. I pray to God Meg knows what she's saying right now because that's a lot of words. It's a lot of, I don't know what she's saying. So, anyways, no.
I've done it. I've done it in Germany. I've done it in lots of places. I just agree. They all motion. Like, everybody uses hand gestures. They point in the right general direction. You go that way until you're a few blocks, and then you ask somebody else.
We did like 150 sets of stairs, man.
She probably told us where the elevator was.
She probably did. We're like, sí. Gracias.
Gracias. Now, I will say that I tried to speak to Julio in Spanish on the Chicago trip, and he did not respond in Spanish.
No, he did not. No, your Spanish was very poor to him. He was like, no,
absolutely not.
So we did a poll today on our Instagram, finding out if people like to travel as much as we do. Majority of people like to travel, love to travel. But I wonder if people think, I guess that's our problem for us, is the traveling for us means going to see the things, doing the things, seeing the people. If you're going to tell me that we're going to travel and we're going to go somewhere and we're going to sit there for a week, like, I'm not a sit down south in at a hotel.
No, that's fair, because you asked the poll and you didn't specify what kind of travel it was. Though I'm not positive. I don't think it would matter, though. If you say travel, each person is going to think of what they think of travel is.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
It was 90% yes, I love traveling, and 10%, which was one person at the time.
Yeah, I don't know what it's at now.
I don't know what it's at now, but that one person was like, you couldn't pay me to travel.
Which is insane. But I guess some people are just comfortable at home. That's cool.
That's cool. Huh? If you love being where you are. It's not like I don't enjoy being here doing what we do, but I love traveling. Where are we going next?
Well, Chris and I have to take a honeymoon.
I'm not going on that. I've told you that.
No, it's okay. Steve can come.
Steve. I would. I'm not going to.
Why? I think we're going to like Scotland.
I'd love to. I would love to go. It's weird. Like, you need to go by yourself. Yeah, I shouldn't be the one telling you. Again. Oh, okay. If they all come.
We could do like 3 days. Yeah, but like if the whole family goes again. Yeah, and we just do 3 days on our own. And I mean, our guys are almost old enough to just be like, we're going to leave you here for a day. We're going to go do. Nah, what am I talking about? I'm totally cool.
I don't think any of your kids are going to go anyways.
One of them might. 2 of them might. The other one's always traveling on his own anyways. So it's not, he doesn't need to go. He's not allowed to come.
And he's, what, 17? Yeah. I'll save my grumblings about that. He needs a manager, I'll tell you that.
Yes, he does.
And I need a 10th job.
No, you don't. I could be our traveling job. That could be our gig right there.
That's true. We would just have to actually commit to going with him. And I do feel like we're actually supposed to pay attention to him while we're there.
Oh, we can't just drop him off.
I don't feel like that's what a manager does.
Good luck, kiddo. Let me know how you did on your race. Okay, bye.
Good luck doing that thing you do. Yeah, I don't know. Work trip or family trip next doesn't bother me. Although I did have a request that the next trip not be as crazy, as much, like moving.
That's fair, as much moving, yes. And I'd be okay with that, because we did move every 2 days or so, at least, or every 3 days. We'd move to the next house, yes. Mm-hmm. I would be happier if we spent like 4 days and just like went from that place to the things.
Yes. So they have to be in closer proximity to each other.
Correct.
Because that was a one downfall of trying to see the country top to bottom.
Yeah.
Was the constant moving and staying, and it was moving every second day, which essentially only gives you like 1 or 2 nights in each place.
Yes.
Which you kind of have to wonder, what was I thinking when I planned this? I have 3 small children.
I don't think you were. I think you were just thinking like you used to travel like you did when you were solo traveling.
Pretty much. I was like, well,
solo traveling with 10 people.
F them kids. They can come with me wherever I go. Strap them in the car. We survived.
And the kids did really well.
We did the same thing with the girls that came with us to Chicago recently. Well, they're coming with us regardless. What are we doing? I don't know. Nobody asked any questions. Where are we staying? I don't know. I've already sent it to you. If you didn't look at it, whatever, just follow me.
I do enjoy that. Everybody's like, yay, we're going on a trip. Where are we going? Chicago. Oh, that's nice. Okay. And that's all. That's it.
That's it.
Other than that, everybody just shows up with their bags.
It's planned. Just bring your bag. Show up at the airport. What time we'd be here? This time. Okay, cool. Okay, great. They didn't believe me that I knew where we were going. I cannot find my way around hotels and subdivisions. I cannot tell you the amount of times I got lost in the hotel.
Ride in the elevator with Meg is joyous, like kills me. I don't know how elevators just don't work for her. Pressing the 7 button and we go to going to 10. I was like, but we press 7 though. It's like elevators hate Meg.
I ended up at 16. I don't even know how I got to 16. This guy gets on. I'm not paying any attention. Get off the elevator. And then I'm like halfway down the hallway and went, oh, damn it. Back on the elevator. I don't know what it is. But as soon as I get onto the street, I'll be like, yeah, it's 1 block that way, 1 block that way. We're good. I'll get you there. I don't know. It's fun, though.
It is fun.
I'll go wherever, whenever. Yeah, let's go back to that. Anybody wants to sponsor us, absolutely.
I'm in. I'm just a total trip of like
whatever. Review something. Yeah. You got something you want us to check out? We'll check it out. Yeah, that'd be great.
Europe is nice, please.
We're obviously good about talking about things. I can get by on any language with hand gestures.
But then that becomes a YouTube episode, though. So
yes, that's got to be visual. Yeah.
Sorry about that. Is as I sign language.
Well, the other thing I want to know too, so let us know in the Q&A. I'm going to ask this question. So what's your favorite place that you've been? Because, I mean, we could always use other ideas.
Ooh, I like that. Okay.
So what is your favorite place that you have been and why?
But I want to know why.
Yeah. What was it about that place that was absolutely incredible?
Okay.
Why do we need to go there? Because we can start making a list. Where do we need to go?
Bucket list of places.
Bucket list of traveling. Yeah. Leave us that note below. Where do we need to go? What do we need to see?
Yeah.
And thank you for listening.
And because I didn't say it at the beginning, welcome to the...
No, this is later.
Oh, it's not. Never mind. Jet lag's still in. Signing off. Is that what we're looking for right now?
Yes.
Signing off.
Thanks for listening.